All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. A double dose of good news for the Las Vegas Raiders this morning. According to NFL sources, the club on Tuesday submitted a request to interview Packers Vice President of Player Personnel, John Eric Sullivan, and will also interview Buccaneers Assistant GM, John Spiketick. I love both of these. I really love John Eric Sullivan. This is apparently the Jordan Love guy. He's worked with a lot of really good people in the Green Bay Packers organization. And according to Ian Rappaport of NFL Network, the Raiders requested to interview him for the team's opening general manager job. Now, I will just say real quick, he has also already interviewed or been requested to interview with the New York Jets, and he's already completed his Tennessee Titans first interview, and he's expected to get a second. It would not shock me in the slightest if in a couple of days, maybe even in the next 48 hours, if he was announced the GM of the Tennessee Titans. That's all speculation. There's not a proof of truthfulness in that. I just know the Green Bay Packers organization, and I know John Eric Sullivan is a perfect GM candidate. I don't know if he's going to be a perfect GM, but he's a really good candidate, and somebody sooner rather than later is going to snag him. I really like him because the Green Bay Packers run such a nice organization as far as player development goes. And so he's been the vice president of player personnel under Goody, the GM for the Green Bay Packers, since 2022. And he's even been with the Green Bay Packers as either an executive or a scout going all the way back to 2004. In 2012, as you guys know, the Raiders, took somebody away from the Green Bay Packers and Reggie McKenzie, and he went 12-4 in 2016. Ultimately got fired a couple of years after that, but still, the Packers run a nice, crisp organization. So folks, welcome back to the channel. Obviously, we're talking about the Las Vegas Raiders in today's video. I want to talk a little bit more about the GM search and then the coaching search. I got to tell you, man, first off, hit that like button, hit that sub button for daily Raiders content. Try and get this video to 100 likes, folks. That would mean the absolute world to me. I really like that Tom Brady has a strong say in this, and Hughes, but Tom Brady knows exactly what he wants. In Tom's perfect world, I'm sure the guy is Ben Johnson, a very similar type of offensive minds, in my opinion. Ben Johnson's got a really firm grasp on offense, and whether the quarterback's Aiden O'Connell or it's they make a trade. I know people don't like when I say these things. A lot of people actually want to go with Aiden O'Connell. So once again, let me know down below, who's your ideal head coach and who's your ideal starting quarterback? I know there's no quote unquote generational quarterback in this year's class, but I think it would be foolish to rule out the Raiders drafting a quarterback at any point in the first couple of rounds here. And then finally, we have assistant general manager, John Spiketick. He's been with the Bucs since 2016, and in his current position for 2 seasons, Tampa's had really good drafts. Like really good drafts for back-to-back classes now. And he also has got a major link with Tom Brady. He was a teammate of Tom's at Michigan, and he was also in the Tampa Bay front office when Brady played there from 2020 to 2022. So, I don't know. These are the only 2 things I've heard for the GM hiring, and both of them just came like in the last hour or so. So, we'll keep you guys updated with the GM search. I'm honestly still kind of surprised Tom Telesco got fired, but with such a great draft, JPJ, Brock Bowers, a little surprising, but I think I saw an article saying Tom Brady wants to quote unquote marry, his GM and his head coach. If you're wondering, I gotta say, I like a lot of the people the Raiders are interviewing for their head coaching position. Todd Monken, the Ravens offensive coordinator, Aaron Glenn, the Lions DC. I think it might be a little bit too soon for Aaron Glenn. I think like a team like the Saints is more suited for him. Pete Carroll, Coach Spags over on the Kansas City Chiefs, Robert Saleh. Seems like Robert Saleh might actually be the defensive coordinator for San Francisco. But either way, the Raiders are in a really interesting situation, and I think there's a fresh breath of air because Tom Brady is now a part of this organization. We know, Davis in the last 3 or 4 years has absolutely butchered this front office. It's it's just cycling through GMs, cycling through coaches, cycling through quarterbacks. What the Raiders are looking for here is some stability. something to look forward to. And I think Tom Brady is definitely going to bring that over to this Raiders team. But as far as the team actually itself goes, depends on who you ask, because a lot of people think there's no talent on this roster, mainly offense. There's Max Crosby trade rumors. Josh Jacobs said something not even cryptic, and the Packers lost to the Eagles a couple of days ago, saying he's definitely going to make some phone calls, try and recruit some people. And Packers fans, just kind of ran with the Max Crosby idea because Josh Jacobs is a former Raider, and him and Max are close. But I don't think Max Crosby's getting traded. They just gave Christian Wilkins some big money. There's not too many flaws I have with the defense. I don't even really have too many flaws with the offense, in the sense of I just still want a quarterback. A lot of people, like I said, and Aiden O'Connell is a lot of people's number one pick. I would urge that shouldn't necessarily be the case. You're in the division with Patrick Mahomes, Bo Nix now, who just led the Broncos to the playoffs in his rookie season, Justin Herbert, obviously, who just had the worst game of his NFL career. But I don't know. I think Aiden O'Connell, I would be fine if he's the starting quarterback next season. I still just would urge, and I know Tom Brady's thinking the same thing, they still really want to figure this quarterback position out. But moving forward, the running back room needs a complete and utter overhaul. I really liked Amir Abdullah in limited time. Sincere McCormick also showed us a lot, but it was very briefly. There was pretty much 2 games against Kansas City. He had 12 carries for 64 yards. In that Tampa game, he had 15 for 78, but those were his only 2 pretty much fully healthy games. Zamir White, obviously, is not going to work out, and I would be shocked if Zamir White is on this roster moving forward. Alexander Mattison, just another miss there. But like I said, Amir Abdullah, 66 carries, 311 yards, averaged 4.7 yards per carry, but he's not going to be RB1 this upcoming season. As far as the receiving room goes, Jacoby Myers, as inconsistent as the quarterback room was, Jacoby Myers just had a phenomenal season, 87 catches for 1,027 yards. Obviously, you have a historic Brock Bowers All-Pro. I don't want to say the word Hall of Fame, but Brock Bowers has a very bright future. He had 112 catches for almost 1,200 total yards. He broke just numerous records. Trey Tucker also had a really solid season, 47 catches for 539 yards. But I understand outside of that, and one of them's a tight end, it is relatively slim out there. So I'm curious to hear what Raiders fans want to do outside of quarterback. So I asked you guys, who do you want your head coach to be? Who do you want quarterback number 1 to be? But outside of those 2 groups, what positional group are you looking for an immediate upgrade? Let me know that down below. But folks, thank you for watching today's video. Hit that like button, hit that sub button for daily Raiders content. Those are the 2 GM news we heard today, like I said. And as you guys have been seeing, we're going to keep you updated as often as possible on this channel. So stay tuned, hit that sub button if you haven't already. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you soon. Peace.